matrix, like a scaffolding effect almost, like a spider's web, these hairs, and then the wax can form in between the individual hair strands. The other potential reason is that if you're using cotton buds, for example, you're scraping in the ear and these hairs are getting pulled out from the follicles, and you're then further pushing them through. Of course, like with our scalp or any other part of the body, the hair cycle, the hair growth cycle, I think it's around 3 months if I'm correct. So these hairs do have the potential of falling out naturally, but because they are near the entrance of the ear canal, when you see this amount of wax, it can't just be that these hairs are simply fallen out of the ear and they've made their way to the eardrum. This is most certainly being pushed in or sometimes propelled in with water. A lot of people now, especially in the UK, because it's extremely difficult to visit the GP, and even if you are able to, through no fault of their own, GPs no longer offer, most GPs should I say, no longer offer earwax removal services, and that's for several reasons, but in part because they don't actually receive the funding. And so it's a very complicated system. So for that reason, a lot of patients are now, the first port of call is to go to the pharmacy, get some earwax drops to soften the wax, and then they can buy over-the-counter bulb or flared syringes to try to flush the wax out. Do I recommend that? No, but do I understand why people do it? Of course, because if you've got a blocked ear and you want to clean your ear, and you've got these DIY kits on the shelf, one would assume that they're safe and effective. And for some people it can be effective, but there is many potential risks when you use over-the-counter products like that, which we'll come on to in a moment. Now you can see I just introduced the forceps for the first time. It's still difficult for me to judge exactly where the eardrum is because we've still got this layer of wax and hairs. So I took a few hairs out. I'm going back in with the sucker just to reveal the eardrum. And once the eardrum's revealed, I'll be more comfortable using the forceps to try and remove the remainder of the hairs. So it's almost like a nest, a haystack almost, these hairs together. I can feel it wanting to come away in a large plaque almost. When I was moving that sucker, I could feel, physically feel these hair fibers, loose hair strands moving together, because they're all coagulated now. They're all more or less stuck together because of the wax, filling up the gaps in between the individual hair strands. Again, here I can feel that these hairs want to come out as a whole, as a flock of hair. That's the word I was looking for. So just going back to self-remedies of earwax removal, whenever you flush water in the ear, you're always running the risk of developing an ear infection. And that's because when you have water in the ear, it provides a perfect breeding ground for bacteria and fungus to colonize and multiply. And so it's almost like an incubator. The ear's dark, warm, and then moist. Also, water in the ear can lead to a layer of protective